Chapter 3. Sonic was at the top of the cabin roof of his boat, the Princess Sally. He was playing air guitar to a wailing song on the portable radio. The rock music wafted loudly over the waves as he pranced and strutted around. His arms flailed along with the lead guitar as he jumped and spun in place. The song ended on a high downbeat as Sonic leapt up and spun around again, landing on his knees. He got off and clicked off his radio, a wild grin on his face. He turned to look at the water, his left hand over his eyes, scanning to the right for any sign of land. He snapped his head to the left, then to the right, and back again. Seeing nothing but water all around, he folded his arms and tapped his foot impatiently. He ran his hand through his quills, marveling at himself. Still looking good, he thought. He wore the same sneakers he always did, boots, even if they were getting a little bit ratty, and he still was a deep blue, not having his color until he aged yet. Although he had not even touched the power ring in over 8 years, he was still an impatient adventurer, preferring action to standing still. Even on this trip, he preferred to go alone with Tails, instead of a full complement of palace guards. He felt he cramped his style anyway. It was a clear sunny day, and with a strong wind that insisted on whipping the hood of his windbreaker into his face and hey! Okay, all you people who complained about Princess Twilight, come here. How come Sonic is allowed to, by fanfic writers, to still be an adventurer and still travel around the world and be awesome, while you guys continue to think that Twilight had to be forced into the castle? Why for Sonic got away with this and you guys whined and cried and boned and moaned and complained and whined and cried about it? They have no imagination. I figured they'd have no imagination. He jumped off the roof, down to the main deck. He walked over to mast, checked the sail. After pulling the main light taut, he zipped over to the wheel. He disconnected the autopilot and steered the boat himself. The sun was not yet high up in the sky, and he casting long morning shadows. One floated over to him, and he looked up into it. Silhouetted against the sun was an irregular shape. His eyes drifted to that taut line that was tied to the end of the boat, and rose up out of sight into the shadow. Sonic reached over and placed communications headset over his ears, and adjusted the microphone. Yo, Tails! See anything yet? He asked. A small crackle of static followed his question. High above the boat, tail tied to the line by the waist, flew Tails. He used his tails as propellers to keep him aloft. He was a lot bigger now. His tail's longer, no longer a kid. He was always in the thick of things. He lowered his binoculars and adjusted his microphone. Nothing yet, Sonic. All clear, he said. Yeah, the sooner we get to this island and pick up Uncle Chuck's part, the sooner we can choose back home. I miss Sally and the kids, Sonic said, pacing up and down the boat. And I miss Tara, Tails said, pulling out a picture of his girlfriend. See, it was a golden-furred fox. Tara Bobowski? Like himself, in 20, exactly his age. She had a long golden tail that could wrap around him, and then she would... He smiled warmly at the thought, hoping he would get back to her soon. Sonic dropped his fingers on the wheel. How much further is this island? We've been out here for days, he complained. Oh, the Starfall Islands are right over there, but I don't think you want to go there. When his question went unreplied, he looked up at Tails. He floated there slack, with a goofy, lovesick expression on his face Sonic had seen many times. He rolled his eyes aside. Hello, lover boy. Hey, Tails! He finally yelled to his microphone. Tails was startled back into reality. Huh? What? Tails pulled the map out of his windbreaker pocket. According to the map, we have another 20 or so miles to go. 20 miles? Squawked Sonic. We should be able to see this island at this distance. Tails stopped for a moment. Not necessarily. This island isn't very big, only 10 or so miles across. Suddenly, movement out to Tails' left caught his eye. Raised his binoculars. Sonic, I see a sharkbot! 3 miles off your port! Sonic turned his head to the left. Sure enough, a large metal fin was sticking out of the water, and it was streaking right towards him. Better cut yourself loose, big guy. It's gonna get rough down here, Sonic said, pulling the wheel to the right. The metal fin was close enough to see the rivets. He reached down and picked up a small wire-guided harpoon gun. Behind him, he heard a wet splat on the tow line and hit the wire. Tails was flying down towards the boat to aid Sonic. Sonic raised the gun's sight to his eyes. Aiming down, he squeezed the trigger to release the harpoon. It sailed off with a muffled bang and lost itself deep into the sharkbot's side. The bot reeled back in pain, then shot forward and slammed to the side of the boat, knocking Sonic to the deck. The gun went flying out of his hand and landed on the cabin roof. Sonic had to get to the gun to activate the lethal electrical charge to fry the bot before the bot destroyed the boat. He leapt onto the roof, landing on his stomach. The gun's wire had spilled out through, and the gun went scaring across the roof and onto the deck. The sharkbot ran to the boat again, this time shattering away the forward hull. Again, the sharkbot swam away to get distance in order to ram the boat again. This time, Sonic jumped to his feet and rocketed full tilt towards the gun, now sliding across the deck. Fortunately, Tails had the same idea. They both slid to each other and fell to the deck, just side of their target. Sonic pushed Tails off of him and jumped onto the gun. He turned it over and slapped the large red button, delivering the lethal charge. But it was too late. The sharkbot had gathered enough momentum to jump under the boat. It was doing so when Sonic activated the charge. Deactivated, the sharkbot came down and crashed to the center of the boat, breaking it down and breaking it in half. The boat, sharkbot, and Sonic sat on the wire. Tails was able to pull up in time and hovering over the crash site, looking for Sonic. He scanned the wire for several minutes but did not surface. "Sonic," he moaned. Meanwhile, Sonic was on the wire, frightened to free himself from his windbreaker. The flimsy material was tangling him up. Finally, he managed to shake himself free of it as he watched the boat. Several pieces of debris in the sharkbot sink by him. The bot's eyes were glazed over and lifeless. Was soon Sonic just flying. Now freeing his jacket, he quickly swam up towards the surface, gasping for air as he broke through. A pair of hands grabbed him under his arms, lifting out of the wire. "Tails!" exclaimed Sonic. "Am I glad to see you, bud?" Tails grinned. "Same here. I thought you were a goner." "Likewise, little bro. Well, so much for our boat. Think you're up for a flight?" asked Sonic, raising his eyes at Tails. "Do you have a choice?" chuckled Tails as he flew them away. Rudder was still confronting Uncle Chuck when suddenly he was surrounded by two very fast blurs. They ran around and around him, faster and faster, until the blurs were too lost at incredible speed. Suddenly, they stopped with a screech of rubber soles. Both looked up at Rudder curiously. "You're new?" asked the small hedgehog boy. Just then, Sally came into the lab. "Rudder!" she exclaimed, throwing her arms around him, hugging him tightly. "You came back. Is everything all right?" Rudder squeezed her back. "I'm all right, Your Highness, really. Boy, you haven't changed a bit," he said. Sally blushed bright red. He looked down at the two children. "I don't think we've been formally introduced." "A scooter," said the boy, jerking her phone to his chest. The girl performed a small curtsy. "I'm Sarah, Princess Sarah." She emphasized with a bit of pride, brushed her long red hair from her eyes, a gesture she copied from her mother. Scooter stood off to the side, arms folded and foot tapping, like another hedgehog Rudder was fond of. "And this is your Uncle Rudder. He's been gone away for a very long time, but now he's home to stay?" She glanced at Rudder questioningly. Rudder nodded. "Yes, I am. I'm happy to say my journey's finally over, and I've come to live with my friends again." "Uncle Rudder?" asked Scooter, scratching his face. "He's a walrus." Sally smiled down at him. "Well, honey, we all come from a much bigger family." Just then, Antoine came running up, his sword crashing against his side. He had seen two fireballs rocking down the hallway and came chasing after them. "What is this all the commotion's about?" he asked in his heavy French accent. He gasped as he saw Rudder. "Sacre bleu, c'est l'auteur! What a pleasant surprise! Mon Dieu, it has been a long time, n'est-ce pas?" "Hey, Antoine," winked Rudder. "Looking good." Antoine's uniform was all gold braid and ribbons, with a shining silver sword at his waist, a long royal blue coat, and shiny brown boots. He looked like an overblown Christmas tree. "But of course, naturellement, was the captain of the guards," he said, straightening his back with his exaggerated pride. Rudder turned back to Sally. "So where's Bunny?" he asked. "She's in class with Caitlin, I believe. Oh, Rudder, you had to see her. She's such a little darling," exclaimed Sally, clapping her hands together. "Bunny will excessively be happy to see you." Uncle Chuck broke into conversation. "You knew? Now you don't hear. Might as well get to show you my lady's affection. A subtle look in progress. I was going to say this earlier when Tails and Sun came back." He waved down and walked over to a blank section of the wall. He pushed a single red button and the wall panel raised up and out of sight. When the panel slid up, a transparent glass on a tall panel came rolling out. Inside the glass case was a dull metal ring. On closer inspection, the dull metal was actually a combination of wires and small microchips that were bound into a ring. A metal ring? I saw Sally. Uncle Chuck laughed. Not just an ordinary ring, Queen Sally. A powder ring. A mega powder ring. He said with force of his hands. We like to call them red rings. A mega powder ring? Asked Roar. Yes. A few months ago, the powder ring pool in Nuthole gave out this ring. It didn't dissolve back into water. It didn't disappear after 24 hours like it was supposed to. I took it back here and did numerous tests on it. This ring is actually 10 times more powerful than a normal ring, he exulted. 10,000 times? Asked Sally, wide-eyed. How's that possible? Uncle Chuck shrugged. I don't know. I can't explain why, but I can tell you that this ring is dangerous. If this ring fell into the wrong hands, it could cause a lot of damage. For this reason alone is why this ring is wrapped several times with conductive wire and microchips. The chips are actually control modules that modulate the energy passing through the ring at any given time. Antoine pointed to a section of the ring that was not covered with wire. The spot glowed an intense glow. I'm Uncle Chuck. Why is this area not covered? He said, squinting at the golden light. This is spot where the command control module of the CMC was set, but I had one it built wasn't strong enough to handle all the current, and it burnt out. Without the CCM, the ring's energy would become unstable and probably explode. I have been in contact for some time with another scientist named Dr. Edwin Rose, who lives far south of here on the island of Mern. With himself, we managed to construct another, more powerful command module. I sent Sonic and Tails there earlier to bring it back here. Can anybody use this ring? Asked Sally, her hands on her hips. Yes and no, said Uncle Chuck. He saw the look on Sally's face. Let me explain. First of all, no matter how powerful it is, it's still a powder ring, and only Sonic can utilize them. You know, if Shadow were to ever show up in Satam, I would love it if Shadow showed that he could use the power ring as well. You know, during the customary Sonic and Shadow first fight, Shadow manages to gut punch Sonic and one of the rings falls out of his pocket. Shadow walks over and Sonic is about to race toward it. Shadow goes, "What's this?" He grabs it and energy starts flowing through him. Power ring. I can almost feel my own power growing. Sonic's just looking on in utter shock. But how? The ultimate life form is capable of many things, Hedgehog. But this unique need is a limited power source. It can be tapped for any kind of purpose. This is why I hid it away for prying eyes. If the secret of this ring were to ever get out, who knows what might happen by some other faction that decided to take over Mobius. I didn't want this to fall into the wrong hands, said Uncle Chuck with finality. Good idea, said Sally, turning over to her children who were playing in the corner, playing quietly. Come on, you two, let's go for lunch. Scared jumped up. All right, chili dogs, he yelled. Sarah made a disgusted face. You had chili dogs for breakfast. Sally led them out of the lab. Antoine following suit, bowing and turning smartly, marching out the door. Uncle Chuck returned to the ring to a small alcove. Well, brother, what did you think of my new invention? It's very interesting, Sir Charles. You coming for lunch? I'm sure Rosie's written something to this time, asked Uncle Chuck. I'm not very hungry, said Roder. I didn't eat on the flight in. Maybe I'll go try and find Bunny. He turned around and walked away. Uncle Chuck was about to leave when he noticed one of his earlier fences laying by the fence. He couldn't leave an unfinished fence lying around, so he turned around and picked it up, deciding lunch would wait a while. Bunny stood outside the castle with another female and a horde of children. This was school time, and Bunny was their teacher's aide. The main teacher, Mrs. Thorne, had her hands full dealing with 30 children at once. I mean, after all, I can imagine there might be a little population explosion after saving the whole entire world. A lot of heat cycles went unchecked. So Bunny volunteered her time to help her. This was gratefully accepted. Bunny's adopted daughter, Caitlin, was in this class, another reason why Bunny wanted to help. So he helped out with lessons and other activities, as well as lunches, nap times, and homework. Today, they were standing in the fields behind Enormous Castle as part of an afternoon play. Mrs. Thorne thought it would be a good idea to spend time outdoors, since it was such a beautiful day. And the children romped around, talking, laughing, and squealing. Mrs. Thorne and Bunny sat together on a bench, quietly chatting or trying to over children's noises. Bunny wore a flowering set of overalls that were cut off mid-thigh and a thin white top. She was very proud about that she finally had her own body back and never wasted an opportunity to show it off. Oh my! Having been half roboticized for many years. Her daughter wore a pink summer dress and had pink bows on the tip of her ears. Bunny watched her play, marveling at how much energy she had. Mrs. Thorne noticed Bunny was watching the children, commented, "Quite gorgeous butts, are they not?" Bunny laughed. "I'll say. Makes me tired just watching him." Caitlin and a few other children moved beside the castle wall, and Bunny noticed and called out, "Caitlin, honey, come on back over here so I can see y'all." She stood up and waved over to her. The children could not hear her over the amount of noise they were making, so Bunny called louder. Above the children, high up on one of the castle's many floors, so debris, wood, and rock from the previous construction started moving. All at once, the debris fell to the ground, hitting and completely covering the playing children. While Mrs. Thorne and Bunny screamed and stood up totally shocked. Bunny walked towards the crying children as Mrs. Thorne ran to help. Bunny ran up to the debris, tears flowing through her eyes. She surveyed the area quickly and tried to lift the stones free, but they were too heavy. She pulled and pulled, sweat pouring over her brow, but couldn't raise the heavy stones. She started to cry and shake from the effort. Every moment getting more and more frantic and frustrated. She cried out, exerting as much force as she could, and something happened. Small electrical fields surrounded Bunny, crackling around her. She did not notice, however. She did notice her body started to feel funny. She grew a few inches taller and heard her overalls and shirt rip at the legs and her left arm. She found herself easily lifting the stone debris and throwing it far away, and rushing to the children's side. She lifted them up, frankly checking for any injuries. Luckily, the debris had fallen mostly around the children and not directly on top of them, so they only suffered minor cuts and bruises. Bunny held Caitlin tight to her, but Caitlin pushed away. "Mommy, what happened to you?" Caitlin asked, her eyes wide. Bunny looked puzzled. "Well, you're mine, honey." She reached up with her left hand and wiped the sweat from her brow, recoiled in horror. Her arm was mechanical again. Looked at her legs. Sure enough, they reverted back to their old mechanical form. She scrambled away from Caitlin in shock, not wanting to believe the sight. She broke down and cried into her hands. Once again, Bunny's life is pain. Just then, Mrs. Thorne, Rotor, and Uncle Chuck came running up with a small team of doctors from the infirmary. The doctors tended to the children while the crowd around Bunny. "Go away! Don't look at me!" She sobbed, pushing them away. Realized Rotor was there, looking at her with deep concern. "Rotor! Oh, I don't want you to see me like this." She tried to hide herself, shocked, horrified, and embarrassed at the same time. "Wait. We're not going to do a Bunny and Rotor ship, are we?" Uncle Chuck regarded Bunny with scientific curiosity. "How did this happen? I thought we permanently did this robotize you." He pulled out a small capsule from his pouch and ran it over Bunny. I don't know," sniffed Bunny, trying to gather her torn clothes from her. "I was trying to pull the debris out the kids, and all of a sudden I'm back to my old self again." She wiped away her tears. Uncle Chuck regarded his gadget. "According to this, your body's molecules are to stay in flux. You can't decide whether to stay biological or mechanical. Your strain with the debris must have triggered this change in you. Your adrenaline levels are way up. It probably has something to do with it." He pointed to Rotor. "Right, you still have the Pro-Ro on you, right?" Rotor pulled out handheld derobotizer from his robes. "Right here." He pointed at Bunny and pressed the right button. Beam of energy emanating from the crystal, and Bunny was covered in a greenish glow. The Pro-Ro did its job, and Bunny was once again made whole flesh. She looked at herself, hope replacing despair on her face. "You did it! I'm mine again!" she squealed, and hugged Rotor. Uncle Chuck regarded the gadget. "Yes, you're new, but I'm afraid your body's still in a confused state. You can become mechanized again if your adrenaline levels go up." "Oh, hell! Why does this happen to me?" asked Bunny. Uncle shook his head. "It must be because of your derobotization. We know for a fact that fully roboticized people can be fully restored with no after effects. But you, Bunny, are a bit of an enigma. You're the only being we know who's only been half roboticized. Because of that, the derobotization didn't affect you fully. It's very puzzling. Can't you flex me up?" she asked, hope radiating from her eyes. Uncle Chuck shrugged. "I don't know, but I'll sure try to." Mrs. Thorne gathered up the rest of the children and walked up to Bunny. "Thank goodness he only has small cuts and bruises. Well, you should be happy you were able to help, but who knows what might have happened. She went down to her main children. Others were coming into the infirmary by Max. Come, class. We've had enough excitement for one day. They walked back to the castle, leaving Bunny, Robert, Uncle Chuck in the fields, still puzzling over Bunny's predicament.